Video is an informational video, turbocharger blow-off valve that is found on the Ford 3.5 liter EcoBoost engines. This is a 2013 truck. This is the turbocharger blow-off valve. Sometimes it's called as a bypass solenoid. It is electrically just a solenoid. This is a brand new part here I just got from Ford. It was $57.41. It's not available on Amazon, at least it wasn't when I searched. And it wasn't available anywhere else other than a Ford OEM parts place. None of the parts houses had it, like O'Reilly, Advanced Auto, none of that. It handles the air for the turbocharger. When the turbocharger begins to build boost through the, through all of your ducting like this, as it builds boost, there's a point when the throttle plate closes that all that boost has got to go somewhere, because now the throttle is closed and it can't escape. And so it needs a blow-off valve to release that pressure. And if you want to replace this solenoid with an aftermarket, like a Turbo Smart product, to either one of their electrical controlled blow-off valves or one of their mechanical blow-off valves, then they're about $300. So for me, I don't care about all of that. If I couldn't figure out that it was actually an improvement from my stock truck, then I didn't think it was worth $300. I just put the right part on there from Ford for $50. So that's this part. So how do you know if this part is bad? Well, it's a solenoid, and all it does is when the ECM, the engine control module, sends a signal to the solenoid, it pulls this in. And when it pulls that in, it allows the pressure in the system to go by it, to escape, and it allows to bypass or to blow off the pressure from the turbocharger. So that's all this little thing does, is it takes a 12-volt DC signal, right? 12-volt signal, and it pulls this plunger in when the ECM tells it, gives it the command. Now, how does it do that? Well, this connector here, you can see there's two little metal prongs in there. The one on the right side is the 12-volt positive. When the key is on in the truck, that'll be hot, 12 volts. The one on the left side, that goes to the, connects it to ground so the circuit can flow when the ECM tells it to do that. But there will always be 12 volts on the right-hand side from the connector. Now, so where is this part located on your truck? We'll look at the front of the truck, right? So over here, this is the driver's side. That's your intercooler, and it's down there, okay, below my finger. This connector right here actually is the harness that will connect to that device, but this connector is going into a little connection block, and out the other side of that connection block is another connector. You can actually kind of sort of see it through there, and it plugs in down below. I'll show you that later. But that's the connector inside of there that actually will plug into here. And I will attach to this video a schematic for this circuit if you're curious to see that. So if you want to see that and study it for a minute, just pause the video. Here's that schematic. All right, so if you want to troubleshoot whether or not this solenoid works, you can use the schematic to verify that you have voltage when the key is on. It's my understanding that this valve will not operate or actuate when the truck is sitting idle in park, although I was experiencing a clicking noise coming from the front of my truck. It was doing a lot of clicking, almost like maybe the air conditioner relay was kind of turning off and on or something. It was this device. I troubleshot that because I unplugged that connector right there while I was making the sound, and I turned it off. So that's how I started to dig into this. Also be aware of is, you see that orange silicone seal in there? So if you look all the way around that orange seal, there's no holes in that, no tears or rips. There's not anything supposed to be there. This is a brand new part. So here's my old one. And look at this guy. There's a big old tear in this one. It's actually, it's kind of right there where my finger's pointing. There's a tear down inside there. Right there. You can sort of see that there's a hole there. It's not real obvious, but that orange seal has been torn. and there's a hole in that seal, and there shouldn't be. Because what happens is air, turbocharged air, there's actually 4 little holes right there, you see? Air will go in that and get in behind that seal and pressurize, and then it can blow out that orange seal, and then now it's created a loop and it's escaping around it. And so you don't want your orange seal there to be blown out. So here's the new part. The seal's in good shape. Everything should work. I'll get this installed and show you how to do that from underneath. All right, so I'm underneath the truck, looking up, inboard of the front driver's side wheel, but on that driver's side, more kind of middle of the truck. So this device here is where your blow-off valve will get installed. It actually goes right there where the light is. That's where that valve will install. There are 2 number 8 screws that hold it in place. What it does is the turbocharged air comes in this end, flows through the body, and comes out this end when that valve is open. This is the hose that connects onto there, onto here. And this is the connection here where a lot of people, when they want to do the vent to atmosphere, they put a plug here so that no dirt goes up into the intake system, and they let this thing vent from this pipe here, and then it's, you know, it's a louder vent sound, and I guess some people are impressed with that because they can hear their turbos kind of doing their vent. This part actually rotates down. This is how it should be installed. There's a number 8 screw right here at the bottom. You take that out, and then disconnect this hose by squeezing and rotating, just turning it and then, you know, and pull it off. And then that'll allow you to rotate this up. Now, if you had to take this off for some reason, you would need to drop your intercooler to do that, because it's got to rotate farther up. It's obstructed, and it can't go up any higher than that. But for just changing the valve, if you're going to use the stock valve and keep this part in there, you don't have to take that all apart. You just pull the 8mm screw off from down here, rotate that up, and that allows you to get to this back screw here, this 8mm. And then there's, like I say, there's 2 of them on there. Pull that apart, and that's where your valve goes. And it's a pretty easy process. Costs you, you know, a little over $50 to replace your valve if yours is bad. I hope this video has helped you.